everybody in here and on the camera. We're live streaming tonight, so there are people beyond just the room that we're in, which is packed to the gills with human flesh. Thank you so much for being at 5 Carlos Place tonight with us. This is a very exciting moment for Matches and for me personally, because I'm here and thrilled. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you all so much for being here also. So many of you look familiar. I feel like I follow a lot of you on Instagram or something. Is that weird? I don't know. Everyone on the panel has already been introduced, but I thought it would be fun if maybe you could describe the most important thing you deem about yourself in 20 seconds or less, starting with Jan. Just say one thing you want everyone in the room to know. You only have 20 seconds or less. Go.
Oh my God. My name is Jan Quammie. I'm from New York, and I work as the style director of HIGHSNOBIETY.
You see, she defines herself by her geographic coordinates of origin. That's good.
Okay.
New York is in your blood.
It's absolutely in my blood. Yeah.
She lives in Berlin now. Actually, funny story about Jan. Every season at the beginning of Fashion Week, I call our street style photographer and I'm like, just get as many pictures of her as you can. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Oh.
But that's really cute.
Yeah, it's really nice.
That's real. Your turn, Caroline.
Okay, I'm Caroline Issa, and I'm the fashion director of Tank Magazine, and I am Canadian and British, but Canadian originally. I define myself by my Canadian.
It appears that way. My answer is that my name is Leandra, and I am obsessed with uncovering and unpacking the human spirit in places you would not typically find it.
We're still thinking about it.
We got time to
Well, it is my question. Competitive advantage. Your turn.
What am I going to say? Okay, so I'm Sandra. I'm a photographer. I've been covering a lot of street style for the last 9 years. I'm sort of between Berlin and Paris, and what do I want to say?
Time's up. There you have it. She's a wonderful photographer. It is really beautiful to see the world through your lens.
Oh, that's very sweet of you. Thank you.
Your turn, Claire.
I feel like we all define ourselves by our jobs, right?
Oh, it sounds that way a little bit. I hope you say something about breakfast. She's very good at breakfast content.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. I think I plan my day around breakfast probably. I mean,
She's a poet.
yeah. I'm a writer at ZEITMAGAZIN, which is the supplement of a German newspaper called Die Zeit. And I feel a bit underdressed with this chic crowd today. I thought I'm going a little sportier, but I mean, I think it's okay. Trying something new.
You're fine.
She also no longer drinks coffee.
Really?
Ooh, you know a lot about me.
Well, you do write for Man Repeller.
Yeah, sure. I write for Man Repeller.
Well, the reason we're here tonight is to talk a little bit about the muses of Matches. And for those who are unaware, because I was not aware, but was very excited to learn about this, because it's really interesting to get into the sausage making behind how a brand works. So every season, or Matches has established these 7 muses, and they allow 5 of these 7 muses to dictate all of the purchasing decisions that the senior purchasing team makes for the customers at the top of every season. So I didn't know that they had established these muses. I found it to be incredibly interesting. When they sent me the document, I felt like it was confidential information that I was not supposed to be seeing, but was really excited to have been clued into it. So I'm going to read who these muses are. So there's the fashion pioneer. This person moves bravely into the future with one eye on the past. She forges her own path. And then there are some examples of designers, but I think we should just go with moves bravely into the future with one eye on the past. So she also has this like very interesting ability to see ahead and behind her, which is like interesting, you know, because she has like one eye here and one eye there. It's crazy. So hip. Then there's the purist. This woman wears clean lines, maintains a nuanced palette, and streamlined silhouettes. This person opts for minimalist style with a sleek, functional edge. Yeah, I think I'm becoming more of a purist.
Yeah.
And then there's the warrior. Yeah, so this is defined by the designers who've demonstrated that provocative and powerful can walk together. You know, it's like, walk this way, talk this way. Then there's the androgyne. that's kind of you. It's like impeccable suiting.
Yeah.
And it's you too tonight, and
It's
kind of
three
you
of us.
too.
There's three of us,
Yeah, we have a lot of androgyns here
Yeah.
We
tonight.
have a blazer.
Sort of.
You took off the blazer.
No.
Yeah, that's a Wales Bonner piece, and
Yeah.
it's silk. That's like a witty garment.
It's an anorak.
Then there's the romantic. This is I feel like so you know with who the romantic is. You know she wears like the frocks. I keep thinking of
Definitely
Amelia
not me.
Wickstead, just like bouncing.
Could be you.
Definitely not me.
Why?
I don't wear like ruffles and like pink.
Well,
More London, right?
Like what?
but isn't the whole thing? I guess the whole thing about these muses is that you can probably choose to see yourself in all of them, which I
yeah.
tend to.
Yeah, I do.
Well, so the final one is the curator, and this person celebrates craftsmanship and premium fabrications, rich color, yada, yada, yada. Think Chloe, possibly Loewe. Anyway, so these are the 7 muses. Which one, let's start with you, Jan, because you've already imparted a bit of an opinion on us. Which
Okay.
one do you most define? Sorry, that sentence can't finish.
Okay.
Which one do you associate
Should I just
with
answer
most?
it? I'll help you out. I think I resonate more with the pioneer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I always have an eye in the future and an eye a bit in the past. I'm all about like mixing nostalgia with like progressive fashion, mixing and matching highs and lows. Okay, not really lows. That's a lie. But like, that's a lie. But down dressing and up dressing, I like to do that. So
High
maybe the
contrast
pioneer,
dressing.
but also a little bit of the curator. I'm confused.
You see?
Yeah, it's tricky.
I feel like I can probably associate with all of them.
Yeah, as well.
I think the whole point of this is that you can, where your mood takes you will mean that at one point I would like to be thought of as romantic in that Amelia Wickstead dress. But then obviously today, is this purist or is this curator?
I think
Not
it's
sure.
androgen.
Oh, there you go.
Which
Also-
I associate you with suiting and loafers almost exclusively.
Ooh.
Although you do look beautiful
love
in
a
like an
dress.
Alcazar dress.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do love a dress.
I've seen you in a lot of
I
dresses.
would like to think that I could
Yeah.
weave through maybe 4 out of the 7, but not all 7.
Reminds me of a personality test that I once read. It has 7 types, and there's some type that is called the reformer. So the reformer is someone that is always looking ahead and that wants to change something, possibly like fund their own company or something like that. But the test said that when you're something like to the extreme, it's not healthy. Then there's something wrong with you. So the best is to be a mix of it. So I think it's actually good if you're a mix of it. So it reminds me of that because it's also 7 types. So 7 seems
Yeah.
to be the
Well, and I
Magic
mean,
number.
these cues also are reflective of your personality, aren't they?
Yeah,
The
of
way that you
course.
dress is the way that you think,
oh sure, yeah.
unless it's not.
I admire people who can like stick to one lane and who are like committed to being,
Yeah.
you know, the romantic only.
What do you admire about it?
I think
The commitment,
there,
for
yeah,
sure.
there is commitment there, and I think that's like a look that you're known for. Whereas I think it's interesting, you know, you think of me mostly in suits, which I love, but I kind of think of myself, oh, I like a little bit of this and that. But I definitely admire those who are fully down in one lane and just sort of go all out in that.
Sandra, what about you?
I'm definitely the purest from the ones you described, I would say, because I just feel like I can't think too much about what I wear all the time. It distracts me if I wear something too crazy, too loud, it just really distracts me. I love to see it on other people and I love to photograph it, but I need to be a bit more having a uniform. I love a little color from time to time, or even a floral thing, but yeah, a bit more minimal. This is a bit more romantic than what I would usually wear, and also I would usually not wear it buttoned up, but so it's kind of fun for me to do something different.
Well,
you
what
know.
ignited your buttoning it up?
I think just because the blouse needs to be this
Tell me
way.
how you really feel.
I feel like it should be a bit open. I would feel that's what just for the blouse it has to be like that, I guess.
Yeah.
I think this is the look. Let's put it this way, you know. So
I have to say that I also admire someone who can stick in a lane, but the way that I've always absorbed that is someone who is able to nestle themselves into a uniform and consistently feel like the uniform is reflective of their personality. It's so rare that I wake up every morning of the week and think, man, I want to wear the same thing.
But
I
I admire you, and I admire everyone who's like wearing something completely different every day. And I have a few friends like that too. And like every time I see them, I'm like, but like, how big is your wardrobe? Why you have a different outfit like every time I see you? And I'm fascinated. But like really, and with street style, I guess but street style is a bit more like planned.
My wardrobe is actually pretty small. I think I just wear things differently.
But so you feel the urge to combine it differently every time. Like it has to be a bit different, like different shoes, something, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you don't feel that way.
Yeah, I get bored. I cannot wear the same thing like every day for sure. I get bored of like just black or navy. Like then I need a bit of color from time to time, or like I love to wear a dress from time to time. Especially like if I've been shooting for a month in sneakers, then like I'm happy to put on a heel and feel like a bit more feminine, you know. But I'm not a stylist. Yeah, like that. You know, I know I'm not a stylist. I'm like the observer. So like I'm not.
But you observe different tribes of women when you're shooting street style. How do you see these definitions reflected in the women you shoot and the tribes that you see them in?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's probably a few more, or there's like you can puzzle around and some like, I mean, okay, I see you in dresses and I see you in suits, so that's the thing that I know about you. And I actually also have color in mind when I think about you, for example. So I have a few things for everyone, I guess, but like a mix and match, and yeah, like you said, like
mix and match is very generous, because sometimes I feel like I have a personality disorder. Is what? Like,
no,
just make me look like. No. Okay, that's fair. Do we want to talk about our first fashion memories, perchance? Oh, that was a squirm.
Sure. I need time to think about it.
I thought about that. I knew this question was gonna come.
Did you?
But it's weird. I think no one's gonna know. So there's one thing. Like my father dressed my brother and I in the same outfits, like shorts and high socks, and like I think until age 4 or 5, like he would take these photos on vacations every day of us wearing like the same thing until we revolted, basically. And then there was a phase, I don't know if this brand still exists, Oilili, super colorful, tropical looking fabrics.
What's it called?
Oilili. They had like these flower bags.
Yeah,
like,
is it a
like
German
flower. I don't know.
Maybe it's a German thing.
And then you had the grunge phase. Nirvana, and then but my mom has always been very like chic and hair done and tons of makeup and rings, and I don't know, so I guess these are my
her mother's incredible. She looks like a Hollywood diva.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, she
should have
puts
brought
her
her.
hairs and curlers. I don't know how to
sweet.
do that actually. Yeah.
Do you have a first fashion memory?
Oh yes, I do. I had a sweater, this color actually. You know, I was just thinking, do I have a persona, like a fashion persona? I was like, no, I'm a bit of everything. But now I'm just thinking the first fashion piece that I had exactly this color. I mean, it wasn't a fashion piece. It was a yellow sweater that had my name on it and like handwritten style and flowers. I wore it every day. At first, I wore it as a dress because I was really, I think I was 2 or 3 years old.
And you remember?
I remember the dress. I mean, I know it from pictures, and I know that I wear this sweater first as a dress and later as a sweater every day, and I wore it with lacquered like kids, like Mary Janes. And my parents always said they knew when I was coming to breakfast because they heard me like going down the steps, like the stairs, like very slowly, like clack, 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 and these shoes because I was wearing them every day, only in the house, obviously, because I wasn't allowed to wear them like on playground or something. But that, I mean, I was very, in that part, I was very, very focused. That was my look, like for 2 years or something.
Right.
And that was a good time, I think. I woke up and I was like, I know exactly what I'm going to wear and it's going to look great. I wish I could go back to that.
That's self-assurance, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think as a child you dress like, I mean, also the way children draw, it's like how they dress, it's very intuitively, and then you start overthinking at some point. You're like, oh, but I could do that, or I was just thinking today, the moment you have scarcity, and that's what you have as a child. You have like your 3 or 4 pieces that you love. But once you start shopping, like buying your own thing, like earning your own money, you're like, oh, I could buy this, I could buy this, I could treat myself to this and that. And then you have all of this and you don't know, like you stand in front of your closet every morning, you're like, where should I start? It's so confusing. I think then you start to overthink.
I was just having a conversation about this with someone in my office, how when we used to get clothes when we were younger, that was it. Those were your clothes for not just the season, but the following year. It never felt disposable the way that it does now. And you know, obviously part of that is a function of fast fashion, but also there's this interesting distinction that I think starts to come up as you get a little bit older and you've been working for long enough, where just because you have access to more money than you ever have because you get a paycheck doesn't mean that you have to use it, right? I think when I started Man Repeller and I started making my own money for I was like, well, I can have it, so I should have it. And it took me a long time to realize that that's not an efficient way to think about really anything.
I mean, they say you should spend your first paycheck. I think, I don't know if this is something in Germany, but they told me, okay, you have to spend it, otherwise you're going to have bad luck, so you have to spend it.
That's a great
I
question.
bought a Jacquemus skirt.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Let's hear your fashion memories, and then we should talk about what we spent our first paychecks on.
I think my first fashion memory is going to school in first grade, and I didn't quite understand the concept of uniforms. Like, why did we have to all wear the same thing? So I would find different ways of, like, you know, jazzing it up. And my one favorite way was just like wearing jeans under my like tartan dress. So that's actually something I do now.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a picture of that.
That one's true.
Yeah, that's very true. I love tartan. I love anything plaid and skirts.
As evidenced by your suit.
Yes, exactly. I don't know. I think it's something with the uniform, but wearing denim under my uniform is kind of like my thing, and I still do it since first grade.
I really admire a uniform. Well, I aspire to be the kind of person who can wear the same thing every day and feel like confident and assured that it's saying the
I just
thing.
feel like I didn't mind the uniform. Like, I liked the dress. I just didn't want to wear it the same way all the other girls did. That was like a nightmare for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're also strategic.
Very strategic. Yeah.
You like a 360 experience.
Definitely. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
And you?
Mine was less a fashion. Mine's less a fashion memory more than like the first time I understood the power of fashion. And I think when I was a teenager, Donna Karan, I was obsessed with fashion magazines and I loved all the big American brands, and I was also really interested in business. And Donna Karan was doing an IPO in the early 90s, and I begged my father to buy some Donna Karan stock. And I thought, with the huge profits that I'm going to make from this stock purchase and sale, I am going to buy my first Donna Karan dress or suit. Needless to say, I lost all my money because the stock didn't do very well in those first few months. But I learned sort of, I had that idea of transformation, of what it, the kind of the feeling it gave me of the what that Donna Karan suit or dress could do for me in my future. And I think that for me was a really big kind of first lesson in the power of fashion.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's cute.
So what did you spend your first paycheck on?
My first paycheck, I spent it on a Jill Sanders suit.
Oh,
Yeah.
a suit.
A suit. I was a management consultant in the first phase of my career. And, it was brown, navy, or black, essentially. But I decided that Jill Sanders, if I had to wear a navy suit, it was going to be a Jill Sanders suit. So that's what I spent. And then I think I was broke for like 2 more months just trying to pay for the rest of it. Yeah.
How long were you in management consultancy?
3 years.
With a consultancy
With
here?
a management in San Francisco and in Asia.
So you are kind of a career coach.
I wouldn't say that. I was a very young kind of analyst crunching numbers for big corporations for my first 3 years, yeah.
So how did you build up the courage to make the switch?
I met the founders of Tank Magazine, and I fell in love with sort of being in a creative environment. And I was young and bold and brave, and just gave up a very, potentially lucrative, traditional career to do something very untraditional. And, I just didn't know a lot back then.
Well, and you haven't looked back.
And I haven't looked back, and it was the best decision I ever made. So yes, I say just feel the fear, do it, go for it.
Well, there is something to be said about being in your work and feeling like this can't be work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel that every day.
And you're
I'm very
allowed,
lucky,
it's okay if you don't feel that way.
Yeah.
If your pursuit or definition of success is different, but it's also okay if you do.
Yeah.
Something that a close friend of mine said to me once that I never forgot, as this like really telling business advice, was just because something comes easy to me doesn't mean that's true for other people. Because it helps you to feel more comfortable, I think, putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
Because the assumption or hope is that your perspective will align with someone else's, and your putting it out there will make them feel hopefully more understood or less alone.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's incredible and incredibly lucky when all stars align and your career and your job doesn't feel like a job.
Yeah.
But it gets, different people have different ways about getting there to that point.
Yeah, but I don't like crediting it to luck either, because that leaves too much out of your control.
Right.
And if you are willing to put in the work and ask yourself the questions and truly know yourself, everyone is lucky,
It's a good way of putting it.
So what'd you spend your first paycheck on?
I was 14, and I had a summer youth job in Brooklyn at the Brooklyn Botanical Garden, and I had my first summer check, and it was like, I don't know, $400, but this was like for the whole summer, all right? So $400, just like calculate that, it's tricky. And I went to the Atrium. Remember the Atrium?
I sure do.
And I bought a denim Ralph Lauren skirt, a white teddy bear polo t-shirt, and the Air Max 97s, the all silver ones, that came back like a year ago or 2 years ago. But I bought them in 97, like the first time they released it. So.
Did you keep those things?
No, I don't have it, but I did rebuy the 97s because like a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, all right, I definitely have to buy these.
Oh, that's good.
I have them again.
What did you spend yours on?
I didn't have a paycheck in that sense. I was a waitress for a long time in my 20s. I remember I bought this white suit. It was Zara, but for me it was a lot of money back then. And I felt amazing in that white suit. I also think that Zara was actually, that was like in late 90s, early 2000s. They had like maybe even better, I don't know if I could say that, but it looked good. And actually, I still have the blazer. I don't know what I did with the pants, but I still have the blazer. So, and then I think the first sort of luxury item I only bought at 31 or something.
What was
and
that?
It was, I don't love it anymore. It was like a Valentino bag, and I was super excited. But I'd seen it on Ellen Kling, and I was really influenced by that. Because that's kind of what happened to me too, that I was just like, we didn't really speak about that, but you get influenced by other people, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And I got super influenced when I started photographing, obviously. And so like that was one of the more expensive purchases. And I think because I didn't make that much money in my 20s, I definitely compensated a bit in my 30s.
Right. I think that's a fair experience to undergo.
It's slowing down, but I'm still compensating, actually.
And how about you, Claire?
What I spent my
Oh,
first
we
paycheck
already know. No, we don't.
It was an orange Jan Quammie skirt. It was actually back when Jan Quammie was still very like nichey. It was
So how many years ago was that?
5. Yeah, I the baby in the round.
So everyone spent their first paychecks on fashion garments.
I'm afraid, yeah. Yes. But I still have the, you know what? I still have the skirt. And actually, I don't have the same skirt, but I traded it with my roommate's skirt who had the same one, but for her, hers was too small and mine was too big or something like that. So we switched and we both still have it. And yeah, I have a very deep connection to that skirt, I think. So I'm not going to throw it away.
My first paid job was during the senior year of high school. Actually, no, I had been a counselor the summer before, going into my senior year. And I made like, from the whole summer, I think the camp paid me like $360, but I subsisted on the tips from everyone in my bunk. And we would go to the mall every week, and I'm pretty sure I slowly spent all of that money at like Build-A-Bear. Which is so curious, because I was like 17 years old. Yeah. I really like dressing them up and putting shoes on them. But then, so...
Do you still have them? Have you given them to your daughters?
No, I haven't, but I do still have them.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There are 3. It's weird. But anyway, I came back that summer, and I was a temp secretary at this plastic surgeon's office on the Upper East Side. And I worked there for 2.5 weeks, and I made $500, which was so much money. And I saved it for 6 months, and then I bought concert tickets because I was dating a guy who really loved music. So I bought us concert tickets, and then he broke up with me. Yeah. But so my favorite part of this story, and I'm sorry to bore you with it, but
We're going there.
this is truly my favorite story of all time, independent of the guy who broke up with me. So while I was temping in this office, the plastic surgeon one day got a new camera and asked if he could take a couple photos of me. And it's not going where you might think it is going. He took me into, we went into one of the rooms, and he just started taking, facial feature photos to see. It was like a new digital camera, and he wanted to see how it worked. And so, okay, he took all of these pictures, forgot about it, and then about 6 or 7 months later, my mother's friend, who was a patient of his, was in the office and saw pictures of me and was like, what is Laura's daughter doing on the screen? Is she a patient of yours, a client of yours? And he was like, oh, no. This is just to show women that, like, look, even this young, lively 17-year-old could have these gigantic bags under her eyes. It has nothing to do with age. Yeah. So that was really interesting. Yeah. No, I mean, it was fine. I didn't think much of it other than how much can I sue for? And will this purchase me a handbag? So that's the end of that story. What should we talk about next?
No, I'm scared. God, no.
We don't have to talk about bad first jobs. We don't have to talk about bad first jobs. That's definitely not on the docket for today. But maybe we can go a little bit further into fashion and what got you into it to start. Mm-hmm. We'll start on this side, Claire.
I actually wanted to become a dentist. And then my
Really?
sister said, everyone has bad breath. I was like, okay, we're considering. Then I wanted to become an architect, so I was moving closer to like aesthetics.
Yeah.
And then I was obsessed with becoming a fashion designer. I was like, I'm gonna make my own clothes because only I know what I want. So it was really like selfish. I was like, I'm gonna make my collection for me. So I still have all these books with like collections I was drawing, like really strange and really like silly, but cute. I mean, it was a good occupation for a long time. And then I somehow realized that I'm much better at writing about fashion than at making it myself. And I'm much better at observing things, maybe. And also about observing myself. I've read a lot about myself. I find that very, very therapeutic. So I don't know. I don't know how it was. I think, I don't only write about fashion. I think I'm very interested in many different things. But I think that, so I also write about design. I read about breakfast, about not drinking coffee anymore.
I would argue that you never write about fashion. You use fashion as the language to talk about the larger or broader culture, which is why I enjoy your writing so much.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, maybe that's, I think you're right. But What was the question?
It actually doesn't matter because we have to wrap up this portion of the event and move on to the Q&A section, which entails your asking questions and our answering them. So if anyone has a question, please feel free to ask it. If you don't, we can continue forward with how we got into fashion. Here's one. Hello.
Hi. What do you see as the most exciting trends coming through?
The most exciting trends?
Trends coming through in design at the moment, not just fashion.
Sure. Well, I'm probably not going to be able to speak very acutely to design because I'm admittedly not very tapped in or clued in. And I'm not sure if this is a function of having parents, immigrant parents, with English as a, like in their cases, fourth language. But it's really hard for me to like describe things. I never know the proper words for certain things. So it's really hard for me to have these conversations. Like, I just learned the word like a ply of wood or something. Like, all of these descriptive terms that just make navigating life and communicating much easier do not come out of my
very
mouth.
eloquently. Like, I don't understand what you're saying.
I speak in metaphor, only metaphor. But anyway, my point or the way I feel about trends is such that we're really like knee deep in the era of personal style, and it's so hard to speak to what trends are out there because it doesn't really feel like they exist in the way that they used to. And maybe that's also a function of the fact that as I get older and begin to recognize that the world is much bigger than me and my perspective, I just don't feel like trends are as important. Where I used to feel like my opinion was the right opinion, it really just feels like a cog in a wheel. That's the right term, right? Like cogs are in wheels.
Right there, yeah.
See? There you go.
Definitely speaking
But
metaphor.
maybe you'll have better answers. Oh, no other trends?
Okay, another question. If you had to wear one outfit for the rest of your life, like a desert island meal, what outfit would it be?
Fun question. I think everyone should answer this one.
Okay. Leandra, you first.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Probably high-waist, straight-leg jeans with a gray long-sleeve t-shirt and a denim button-down shirt over that, and satin flat sandals, like slides, and I would include a pair of socks. And I would ask if I could bring a red lipstick and a pair of sunglasses. Actually, no, a silk scarf, because then I could fashion the scarf into a headpiece or a necklace. And it's the same with the clothes, It's like I could wear the denim shirt as a skirt with the gray shirt. I could like put the jeans around my
This is like
neck.
a capsule wardrobe.
Yeah.
It's not an outfit.
But I would just choose like all the basics that could be reappropriated 1,000,001 ways. Your turn.
So pretty much what I'm wearing, actually, like a high-waisted, stretchy denim that's comfortable and slimming or something. I would maybe wear a t-shirt underneath because the t-shirt is useful. The silk shirt, maybe that a version that you don't have to button up to the top. Also blazer, maybe that's a bit shorter. Yeah, ankle boots, lower ones, and what am I missing? Oh, a cashmere sweater. Very important. I like fabrics that are cozy and comfortable, I guess. Yeah.
So I'm on a desert island. So
I mean, a chic desert island.
Okay. But in that case, so if I'm alone on a desert island and I have to wear the same thing for the rest of my life, I would maybe wear my boyfriend's favorite sweater that he would borrow, that I could borrow from him, and my father's white shirt, and maybe a scarf that has my mother's perfume on it, and maybe my sister's earrings that I once stole from her. So maybe I would because I think that never goes out of fashion. So, aw, that turned out a lot sadder than I intended it to.
My turn. Desert, right? I'm thinking in
I think
themes.
the point is if for the rest of your life you could only wear one thing.
Oh, right, okay. Definitely like cowboy boots, a big like broad-shouldered blazer, a cowboy hat, cut-off shorts, a turtleneck or like distressed white tee, one of those. It's like my jam.
I'm gonna wear that now.
Yes, yes, go for it. I have it in my suitcase. Want to borrow?
I do.
All right, yeah.
Okay,
Always.
I answered that question wrongly. I didn't get the assignment.
You like my outfit better?
I like your
Are you jealous?
Smells better.
That's awesome. Caroline.
I would probably have to go with the smoking, a tuxedo. That's my outfit for life.
A purist.
She's always
That's
very
good.
chic.
That's Le Smoking. That is a smoking answer. But I'm bummed. Any other questions?
The second row is like a thing.
So we've got the curator, the romantic. If you all had to kind of name your own tribe, I guess, of women that haven't been called out necessarily, this is very on the spot, but is there a tribe of women or a name that you would give a group of stylish women? That hasn't been called out yet. And what would it be?
I would be the cunty rock star. Yeah, totally. Yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah, rock star generally is a good one. That's a very specific.
Yeah, but cunty, it kind of like goes to like another choice. Gonna get in trouble.
No, I'm sorry.
All right, cool.
I don't have a very creative answer for that one. I would stay with minimalist more or less.
I don't know.
There's so many.
Yeah, I might go with like member of the circus or like a clown car. Yeah, I love a clown car because like so many people come out of it and they're all different, but they're all coming out of the same small car and figured out a way to fit in there seamlessly, but are now out of the car, stretching with big shoes on. Possible red noses.
Maybe the big shoe tribe.
Maybe the big shoe tribe.
There you go.
What about the gym diva? You know, this kind of, because I feel like that is a real tribe. That is I see that always in New York and also in London, you know, these people who like, they walk around in like gym clothes all day, but they don't actually go to the gym. They just look very chic in their gym clothes and they're like, oh, later in the day I'm gonna go to the gym. And it's starting in Berlin now. Everyone is in gym clothes. Yeah, I thought I'm gonna start it. So, because I thought, that's so cool. I look like I'm going to the gym, but actually I just wear it too. I think it's also a way of motivating yourself to actually go there later in the day, but you can still, and I don't know, it also feels like your clothing is kind of like empowering you in a way, like, I don't know.
That's fair. We call it athleisure.
Yeah, gym diva is just the German
The more
word
fun
for
way to
maybe.
say it. The reason I like athleisure, and I never wear workout clothes to work out. Like I almost exclusively don't work out in workout clothes.
What do you wear?
When I work out.
What's your workout?
I'm picking up 20-pound babies.
Right.
That's pretty much the extent of it.
Yeah.
But so the reason it's fun is because it allows you to create that contrast. You know, like you put on some fancy jewelry, like a gold necklace or a pair of pearl earrings, and you're wearing like a raggedy t-shirt and a pair of leggings with some Celine fur or fleece-lined shoe boots
And the fur.
that look like casts. Yeah. It's just, it's like a really nice disconnect.
Yeah, I'm into
But
that.
I'm really about sleep leisure right now. So, you know, like
The pajama.
I'm trying to make I'm trying to make it happen. And I would like to call it sleep leisure. So yeah, when you wear pajama clothes out.
It's like a
totally.
bag you can like take with you.
Yeah, but like it's not even just nightgowns. It's also like cotton pajama sets, like the ones that little kids wear with like race cars on
The
them.
Italians do those.
And then you
very
put like
well,
an
yeah.
extravagant robe coat over it and some like glittery Miu Miu-ish shoes, you know, like princess shoes from those games. Did you ever have that game, Pretty Pretty Princess? Is that what it was called?
Don't know.
Anyone? Is that an American thing only?
What's your
Nodding, yeah.
I don't know, but it's like a board game or something, but I never actually played it. I just asked for it because there was like jewelry and these little glass slippers inside of it, so I would just wear the jewelry and slippers around the house. I had no one to play it with because I only had brothers. And they were not interested in appeasing my fancies. But anyway, sleep leisure. You know, the private has become so public.
I think it's coming because sleep is huge. Everyone's like, oh, I need to sleep my like 9 hours. And
Yeah, well, and even if you don't go out in the clothes, the private domain has become the public domain because we share so much of ourselves
Right.
on social. So there is more of an emphasis and placement on what you're wearing at home because the assumption is that you're going to show it.
Right, and there was bathleisure, the
Bathleisure,
trend.
yeah.
Bathleisure,
Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin, they really drilled down on that one.
I'm so behind.
Yeah. Instagram could be an incredible tool of discovery. Are there any more questions?
Third row, fourth row.
Yeah.
I see a hand.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Dior, thank you. Oh, okay. I'm gonna stand. Okay. Hi, my name is Dior. Thank you guys so much for this amazing talk. My question is, my connection to fashion is not through clothing, it's through people, their stories, which is why I love events like this. What would you say each of your connections to fashion are?
Yeah.
But I think that's such a good point, and I think that's kind of like what this
The
was also a bit
theme.
about with the trends
Yeah.
and like not trends, and like to me, I'm still fascinated by just like the woman that I see on the train, when I take a plane, when I or the best friend, or the fashionable friend, whatever. Like to me, like those daily fashion moments are still actually very fascinating. Like even maybe more especially outside of like a fashion week season when you're just kind of bombarded by stuff like every day. So it just really gives me like joy. When I see someone like well dressed, just like a delicious, beautiful, inspiring thing to me.
It is hedonism in a very harmless way,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
For the most part, harmless.
And it's also sort of like a sign of like taking care of yourself and like caring about your surroundings in a certain way, like a form of respect to a certain extent, but
Yeah.
like, I don't know. In a place like London, actually, it's really fun. If I haven't been here for a while, like I feel like people really love dressing up and love taking care of their tailoring and things. And,
Yeah. I think I've always associated fashion with a sense of freedom because it was something that I was so deeply and inherently interested in from such a young age. And that interest was, to my knowledge or to the extent that I'm able to record this well knowing that we are all influenced by the world around us and biases exist for a reason. It feels like something that is mine, that I gravitated towards without being conditioned to like or care for, particularly because I only have brothers, and so I didn't grow up in a house really that celebrated or recognized like silhouette, So it has always felt like my thing to a degree, and I have associated that feeling of my thingness with freedom because maybe I grew up in a very academic environment and there was so much conformity around me or uniformity around me, and this was a way for me to begin to expand my understanding of both myself and the world around me.
Yeah.
I think my connection with fashion is definitely probably around wanting to share the stories of the incredibly creative people who are making fashion, wearing fashion, discussing fashion. And I think what made me leap from the world of management consulting in a very corporate world to an incredibly creative world was the ability to sort of share stories of these incredibly kind of brilliant people. So for me, I think it's been something very emotional and magical and a world that I think really inspires me and I know inspires so many of us in this room.
I think my connection with fashion is like the subcultures. And just like, fashion that really comes from the street and also speaks to the street. And that's something that we're seeing now in like the last few seasons in a luxurious way. And I think that's pretty awesome. But also subcultures are really important to the fashion today because of the rawness of it. And I don't think it gets enough credit. I mean, of course, like Supreme gets the credit and like, but like brands like FUBU, For Us, By Us from like the States, brands like this, they're not getting the credit that they really, really deserve. And I think that, working for a magazine like HIGHSNOBIETY, where we can just like remind you know, the kids now, like where these subcultures and these like street brands really come from is super important to get the message out there. So that's pretty much my connection, and that's really like where I come from. Like I come from a subculture. I come from like, you know, Brooklyn, New York, where we were doing like graffiti, skateboarding, basketball, like all these things that are really the reason why certain fashion brands are so big today. And yeah, just making that connectivity, keeping it alive is important for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
What I always find may be considered or knocked by outsiders or you know, people who are uninvolved, the primary mechanism or use mechanism is always so much deeper and more profound than just the clothes you put on your person.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. I have a very hard time allowing that argument to live, that fashion is trivial, because it is something so important, and it's really a foil for something much bigger than any of us in this room.
Right.
But you know, I just read something this morning that was such a good argument. I was like, I'm always going to use this argument now if someone tells me fashion is trivial. It was about, there was a case in Germany about a leftist politician, and someone found a photo of her where she was wearing a Rolex. I think it's 4 years old. And there was this outcry, like, how can a left politician wear a Rolex? And then she was like, or someone who defended her in an article that I read this morning was saying, I mean, there's nothing wrong. I mean, it's not just because you're a politician, you're not allowed to buy yourself a watch. And then it was also, I mean, the author of this article said that elegance is a form of eloquence, and it's a form of rhetoric. It's a form of good rhetoric. It's like, other people are good at speaking, why shouldn't you be good at dressing yourself in a good way? It's like what you say, it's like a way of paying respect and of showing your respect to other people, that you're not just coming somehow dressed in like what you just fell out of bed in, but that it's a way of like exposing yourself to the world in a nice way, and of also opening up yourself to the world.
Yeah,
and I
think
found
the
that such a good argument. Sorry.
No, I mean, actually, yeah, I think it's both. It can be something that you take care of yourself, and something, it can mean something elegant, but I think it can also mean like sportswear or something like punk, I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's also a way of like taking care of yourself, like just like expressing something.
But it's
appeasing your fancies.
Yeah,
it's
so.
also saying who you are without having to speak, and also standing up for what you believe in and protesting without having to speak.
Right.
You know, punks, especially in the UK, they were dressed in a certain way because they were really fighting against certain political, you know, climates that were happening in here at the time. And, you know, just by them walking down the street and dressing the way they were dressed, they were fighting for, you know, the less, how can you say, the voiceless, basically.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it's important.
In the end, it's communication. I mean, I feel like if you don't, I think you're missing out on such a great and such a powerful communication tool if you don't care at all about what you're wearing, if you don't express anything through that. I mean, you can do that. I won't judge that, but I think you're missing out on something there.
I mean, I also appreciate people who could give two shits about what they look like and how they dress.
They're
I think there's a lot of strength in that as well. I mean, I admire that because I could never be that, and I don't think I can revert to that. I'm not sure. I'll try it. I'll let you know how it goes, but I highly doubt it. I don't. Stay there.
That would be a good experiment, actually.
I mean, I would love to, but you know, I've just gotten so like deep into it. I don't know how to turn back. Like I see people traveling, you know, and they pack a tiny suitcase or like backpacking, and I'm like, I have like 3 suitcases. I'm just like, I'm going for like a week, and they're like going for 3 weeks, and they have like 1 bag, and I'm like, what is in this bag? Like really, like how are you surviving?
A gray shirt and a denim shirt.
Right. Exactly, cowboy boots. And I just admire that so much because they're just so simple, and I'm just like, am I the basic one? You know, like I'm always like questioning myself, like why do we always have to buy things? Like why are we, it's just like the consuming levels of like the society right now is just like ridiculous. And we're in our industry like season after season, and we're just like consuming, and it's just like consume less. And it's like how? You know, like how? I have to go to the show and I have to be wearing like, you know, this season. Like, you know, it's just like so much pressure.
Do you really feel that way?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't feel that way. But these are conversations that I have.
Yeah. Well, I think the criticism is incredibly important, and I
Yeah.
welcome it because it forces you to defend what you truly believe in your guts,
Right.
and it challenges you to determine whether or not you are going to defend other elements of it.
Right.
I think these are conversations that everyone in the industry is having
Yeah.
at a high level, like, you know, all the way down at the bottom
Yeah.
of the funnel as well. And we're certainly on the brink of very radical change, and I certainly welcome it.
I welcome it as well. I would love to be in a place where I can just like not buy anything and just like have a few things in my closet and just be very happy with like myself. I just feel like it's just like not a place that I'm ready to be in right now. I just don't know how to
okay.
revert back to that, but like I would love to aspire to be that.
Yeah, so long as you are not judging the state or phase that you're in,
Right,
you're onto something.
right. Just want to live on a farm.
One day, why not?
I
Prairie
think that's way cooler
tour.
than everything that we're doing right
You
now.
can call
I wanna
that
live on a
prairie
fruit
leisure.
farm.
You
I
can take
wanna-
Calvin Klein with you.
I'll love
Take
to
Raph.
take him. I love to take Raph.
And on that note,
Yeah.
I say goodnight to the live stream. So long, farewell. It's been a pleasure.